noise!
Welcome back to the next part of this Truth and Rhythm episode. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. If you've already done so, please share it with friends. Also become a member by joining Truth and Rhythm on Patreon, or consider donating at funkandstuff.net. Thank you so much for your interest and support. Enjoy.
Remember this one?
Yeah. Am I on that one?
You're listed on that one.
What's the name of that?
Ultrawave.
Ultrawave. Oh my God. Yes. The New Do Review. Is that part of the New Do? Oh my God.
Well, New Do Review is on Trombipulation Parliament.
Oh, I love Trombibulation. The Ultra Wave. Yeah. See, they moved the music around. So it made it difficult, and it makes it difficult to find. So that's my quest today, to find this music, the Cinderella Theory, the Do-Do. Really? Ultrawave. Wow. Okay. So you're teaching me today.
Hey, if there's any way I can ever help you that way, never hesitate to reach out.
Seriously? Okay.
I have, quite a library here. So the only thing I think I don't have that I'm aware of is I don't have the Philippe Wynne album.
Okay. Neither do I. I wonder if there's any P-Funk on Philippe's. Did he do a full project with George?
Yeah, he was the only other. There was two Uncle Jam record label records. It was Sweatband and Philippe Wynne.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and also I think the P-Funk All-Stars. You're on this one too. Yeah.
I've seen that cover before. Okay. How exciting. I'm excited. This is all new to me. This is all new. Thank you, honey.
Hey, when you look back at that craziness, is there one or two shows from the heyday that just really are unforgettable for you for whatever reason, whether it was craziness or just performance or what have you?
Okay. The first show that Parlet did here in Detroit, which I just mentioned, opening up for the group War. Yeah. That was monumental. All of Detroit came out to see us. All of the high school groups came out. Northwestern was in house. All of my personal friends came out. So that was monumental. The LA, the Soldier Field. I had never seen an audience like that before in my life.
Well, LA was the Coliseum. Soldier Field would be Chicago.
We did Soldier Field. That was Chicago. Yeah, Chicago was Soldier Field. That was monumental. And then the LA Funk Festival. That was another one. The LA Funk Festival, I think I was a little more comfortable. Yeah, I was a little more comfortable with the LA Funk Festival. And we did, it was the LA Funk Festival. I did Chicago. There were a few. We made a few sightings. We had a few sightings. We were on a roll there for a minute, but somebody pulled the plug. Somebody pulled the plug on Parlet. Yeah, they did us a disservice, Scott. And I believe that was George. Oh, and Europe. Europe loved us. Europe loved the girls, especially Parlet.
In Europe, were you on a bill with others or just on your own?
No, we were on the bill with others. There was a guy or girl, Sylvester. Do you remember Sylvester?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, how exciting. He was.
Disco.
Yes, disco. It was that era. Was James Brown? Oh, it was a host. It was a host of groups that toured Europe. We were a part of that, yeah. And we almost didn't make it. We almost didn't make Europe. Parlet fought very hard to be a part of that tour. For whatever reason, they did not want to take Parlet. But Malia's mother fought really hard. She fought really hard for Parlet to be a part of, and I think it all boiled down to monies. George was holding out on the monies, the monies for those that were contracted. I wasn't contracted. I know Malia was contracted. I'm not sure about Debbie and Jeanette. I think it was all contractual disagreements that brought about the disharmony. I think it was all monies. Yeah. Monies was for whatever reason, George was not. He wasn't giving the monies. He wasn't allocating the money where it should have been allocated.
How were things different when you were laying vocals down that were being used for the George Clinton solo records with Capitol in the 80s? How was that different from when you were doing it, back when the funk mob was in full force?
It wasn't really a difference. There was no difference, because when you're in the studio, you're in the studio recording. You don't know where the song is going to go, who's going to get this song. It was all the same. It was,
Wasn't it less chaos though going on at that time, or
it's always chaos. There was never a tender, warm moment. It was always tension, hot, electric, always. It was never a tender moment. Never. Mm-mm. Nope.
What was the most personal or direct experience you ever had with George Clinton?
I had a big concern about being under contract, because I had laid vocals down. Now I'm doing all this without a contract. And I'm believing that I needed to be under contract. So I need a meeting with George Clinton. That meeting took place one afternoon in one of the restrooms there at United Sound. And, I'm voicing my understanding of what is supposed to be, and he's listening. And George went on to tell me about how, and I don't know who the apple was, but how one rotten apple could spoil the whole barrel theory. I guess in a sense, he was saying, you don't really want a contract. He's trying to tell me, you don't want a contract. You don't want to get messed up with a contract. So that's how I took that. That was the message that I got from that conversation I had with George one evening. After Malia had left the group, and we had been recording for Parliament, Funkadelic. Let's see, was that before Play Me? I think it was before Play Me or Trade Me. And again, the organization was looking to bring in other females. That's what it felt like, because there was a slew of female that came through the studio, recording, hanging out, whatever. And George pulled me aside one afternoon. He wanted to talk to me. And the conversation went something like, you can work with anybody. He's watched, like I said earlier, he had been watching. He's observing how you go about your business. And he said, you can work with anybody, Shirley, but can they work with you? Wow. And my heart was beating so fast, at that time. What does he say? He told me in a very private meeting that he wanted to build a group around me. You can work with anybody, but can they work with you? I didn't know how important that was words of wisdom, how important that would be, and how it would relate to what's going on today, and how relevant it would be, today. Because I have tried and tried and tried to work with these females, and they refuse to this day to work with me. Okay, now Sheila, she's open. We've done a couple of gigs together. Sheila Horn, Amuka Kelly is open. But Dawn Silva, Jeanette Perkins, nope. Lynn Mabry, she went off. She was doing her thing. I would not include Lynn in this. Lynn is a beautiful soul. I believe that we could work together. But she, she's been doing other things. She went on, and because she had been around, for a while. Sly Stone's cousin, she had that connection. I didn't have that connection. I'm from Detroit. I'm not a part of the inner circle. I wasn't privy, to being a part of what's going on. But George, I thought he was sincere when he said that he wanted to build a group around me. We're going to have a conversation later. We'll talk later. But, you keep that under wraps. And I can recall coming out of that was like in a little lunchroom area of United Sound up front. And this chick by the name of Patty Walker, who was George Clinton's hairstylist at the time. She was the one putting all these different colorful styles in George's look. She was helping him with his look, his hair stuff. And she must have been eavesdropping. So like I say, when I came out of the meeting, I remember this verbatim. She was so excited. George, I mean, she talked really fast, And she overheard the conversation, and I was in shock because this was a private meeting. What is she talking about? She overheard the conversation that I was having with George. So, yeah, that was, yeah. So unfair. So unfair. I believed him. But I also knew that he was telling the truth about I could work with anybody. And it's not that I was kissing ass, because I didn't have to kiss no ass. I just wanted to sing. I wanted to bring it. I could bring it. And that's all I wanted to do. I don't have to be your friend. I don't know. Maybe that was a downfall. I don't know. The women looked at me as being, from what I understand, to this day, looked at me as being conceited. That wasn't it. That was sort of a protection, a shield, so to speak, because they were so full of shit. I didn't want to be a part of your bullshit. Dawn Silva told me, I was 27 at the time. Well, she asked me how old I was. And I told her. And she told me I would be finished in this business in 3 years. So she had it out for me in the beginning. She was always giving me that side eye. All the girls.
Cutthroat.
Lynn and I were friendly, but that Dawn Silva and that Jeanette Perkins, no, 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 no unity, no unity, no, none. To this day, isn't that something? 40-some years later. 40-some years later. Now, I've been called to do gigs with these girls, but it's always an issue. Always. Oh, my legs hurt. Or
Are you aware? Are you aware of, or have you seen that documentary "Tear the Roof Off" that came out?
yeah, I was a part of it.
Okay, I didn't remember. I saw it a while ago, but did you feel like it was a fair portrayal of what it?
No, no. And again, a lot of controversy surrounding that documentary. If Dawn Silva had it her way, Jeanette Perkins, I would not have been a part of it. Because as far as they were concerned, I didn't have a voice. I didn't play an integral role. Yes, I did. Oh, yes, I did. And what was the producer's name? Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown sought me out. He sought me out. Linda Shider put me in contact with Bobby Brown. And thereafter is when Dawn Silva starts talking to me about being a part of this documentary. But there was a lot of truth. There was a lot of truth. I had no idea what people were saying. I had no idea what other groups, the original P, how they felt, Debbie Wright, Linda I had no idea. Again, like today, I did the work. I think I expressed that openly in the documentary. I did the work and I wanted to be paid for my work, and it didn't happen. And why it didn't happen. Why it didn't happen. But then again, I look at the original members of the organization, the original Parliament. They created this machine, and here they are fighting for equal pay. I mean, you helped to found this group, but yet you're fighting for equal pay. I didn't know that. And here I am talking about, I did my work and I'm a member of. No, you're not a member. Who told me that? Billy Mays told me that. No, you're not a member of Parliament. Well, I'm a Funkadelic. No, you're not a Funkadelic. Well, what? I'm a member of the family. I did the work, and I want to be paid for the work that I've done. But how can I expect to receive royalties for the work I've done, and they haven't? The original members haven't. Yeah.
It's a long line. Yeah.
Get in line, as a lawyer told me, because I wanted to sue George's ass some years ago. It's like, I need my money, blah, 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 blah. And she said, get in line. It's a long line. Yeah. So, I'm still breathing.
Hey, well, thank goodness for that,
There's opportunity. We're being put on the spotlight. The spot. I don't know why, but the spotlight is on us. Maybe the book has something to do with it. I don't know.
When people are listening to those Parlet records, or maybe even some of the other funk mob records, is there a way they can like pick out or try to distinguish your voice in particular, like on the Parlet records, say?
I guess you would have to know my voice, my tone. And like here recently, Jim Wright, Debbie Wright's brother, we're talking these days. Jim said to me, this was a couple of weeks ago, he asked me, we're on the phone, and he said, Sheryl, did you do some recording with Kid Rock? And I said, yes, I did, which was also very political. I said, yes. He said, oh, wow, baby, I knew it was you. It's the tone. I guess you would know the tone of a person's voice to recognize the voice within a song. Yeah. So I would say that it's the resonance, it's the tone of voice, something about that tone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How did you connect with Kid Rock?
It was during a period when nothing was happening. No, I wasn't recording, no gigs. And a bass player by the name of Lonnie Motley, who was a buddy of mine, who would, we would hang out from time to time. He played around town, another badass bass player, but crazy as hell. He may have been one of the P-Funk All-Stars. I don't know. I'll give him that. But anyway, Lonnie asked me, he introduced me to Kid Rock. What are you doing? Nothing. Why don't you come and hang out? Go to the studio with me. And so I did. So it was a lot of hanging out, just being on the scene. And I went to the studio with Lonnie Motley. And he introduced me to Kid. Is that how it began? Yeah. I did a Midwestern tour, college campus type stuff. About 3 or 4 of those with Kid Rock. And I saw that he had a huge following. I had never heard of him before. After that, Kid said to me that he would be recording a new album, and would I be interested in doing some recording with him? And I said, well, hell yeah, well, hell yeah. Of course, I'm thinking everything is legal, going through the union, not that under table shit, which he tried to do that, but I got in touch with the union. Yeah. So that's how I met Kid, through Lonnie Motley, another bass player friend of mine who was playing with Kid and who had been working with Kid for quite a while. Sweetie Pie, hard worker. He was a rapper. The guy that I've been working with for almost 10 years now, I guess, the Blackman, Kid spoke of the Blackman often. From Detroit, East Side. I'm from the West Side of Detroit, but they're from like the East Side. Kid was hanging out on the East Side. And so Kid, like I said, would talk about this rapper, who helped him to understand the language, the rapping, taught him how to rap, and that was the Blackman, who is a dear buddy of mine. I wanted to help Kid with his vocals because he wasn't a singer. He yelled a lot. And I thought he was going to lose his voice. Well, if he had continued the way that he was going, he would lose his voice. And I wanted to help him sincerely with his vocals. But that's his thing, you know, that was part of his whole, you know, delivery. Yeah.
He blew up so big. Devil Without
And
a
I was
Cause
there
was the
to
breakthrough
watch it.
album.
Yeah, I was there to watch that whole thing. You know, like I said, we did that Midwestern tour. We came back. He said that he would call me. I went to Japan. He said that he would call me. I didn't think that he would call. But I'm talking with my mom, and mom said, this kid Rock called you and said that he has some work for you. I'm like, oh my God. So, you know, to have work waiting for you when you got back to the States was really exciting. And he kept his word. You know, I had met a lot of people who, in the name of the music, who did not keep their word. And Kid was one who kept his word. He said that he would call me to record, and he did. And we recorded, what was the first thing I recorded with Kid? Was the Cowboy. I think Cowboy was the first one. But I did 3 CDs with Kid. And, you know, again, I'm learning the business of music. Now I'm with an organization that would help me to secure my residuals, my royalties, my payments, which was AFTRA. But Kid and his whole little machine was talking about, of course, you know, you're going to be paid forever. You're going to receive monies forever. And when you say, I'm going to receive monies forever, of course, I'm thinking residuals. This is forever. It's forever. I will receive my residuals. And this comes through the union. It's a legal thing. But he was talking about paying us under the table. So again, I'm a person who holds on to paperwork. And I kept all of my earlier paperwork. And once the recording Cowboy came out, it was huge. And everybody was hearing it on the radio. And they knew, because they know my voice, that tone, you know, you recorded good. You should be good. You know, they just knew I was being paid. And I wasn't. And my heart was so heavy. It was so heavy at that time, because he had paid us a little bit of money under the table, but the record was huge. And all I'm hearing is, I know you're getting paid, and I wasn't. So I had to look into that. And it haunted me. And I couldn't, at that time, you couldn't get next to Kid because he was huge. You know, he was huge. He was all over the place, but he wasn't with us. He wasn't trying to help the people that helped put him on the map. He wasn't trying to help us. He was gone. He was gone. So I decided to look into, I had a friend at AFTRA at the time, and I decided to look at, because, you know, there is a limitation. There is a certain period that you can pursue your monies. And the statute of limitations. And I thought that it was up. It was too late by the time I called, but it wasn't. And my buddy said, well, let's look into it. Let's look into it. And we pursued it. And yeah.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching. Cha-ching.
Congratulations
As a matter
on
of
that.
fact, my ex-boyfriend, I was talking with him, like I said, a couple of weeks. We've been talking here of late. I forgave him for all of his ugly attitude back in the day. It took a while, but I forgave him. So we're buddies now, Jim Wright. We were talking, and Jim said, baby, you know, he asked me, did you do work with Kid Rock? Yes, I did. And he heard my voice in Cowboy, which was a song in the movie Securing Sarah, I think it's called Securing Sarah. Didn't know it was a big time movie until here of late. So I have a date with the union to find out, how that works. Okay, can I collect my residuals? Because Cowboy is definitely in the first 15 minutes of this movie called Securing Sarah.
I definitely want to cover. You brought up the Blackman, and I wanted to get a little more information on that, because you've done a lot of recording with him and that group, and I want you to talk a little bit about
tonight. We're going in the studio tonight. Since the pandemic, we haven't done any work together, so we decided this morning, ready, set, let's do it tonight. So I'm going over to his studio once I finish this interview with you. Our relationship started about 10 or 11 years ago. Underground rapper here in the city. Like I said, he had been working with various rappers. I wasn't, a part of that community. But Blackman was aware of who I was, and we connected. We connected spiritually from that was our connection. It was a spiritual connection. He had lost his youngest child, had been his youngest child was killed by a hit and run driver. And I walked into the studio months after his child had been murdered. And there was a plaque, a gold plaque hanging on his wall in his boutique. His Blackman and his wife had a eclectic type of boutique here in Detroit in a place called Highland Park. And I admired the window dressing. And so I walked in to the boutique one afternoon, unbeknownst to me that this was Blackman's boutique. And I was admiring, all of the finery, the wares. And I just gazed upon this plaque on the back wall. He's an artist as well. He is not just music, but he paints, he draws, he paints, and raps. And so I knew that in order to receive a plaque, a gold record, like that, you had to have some inside connection to Kid Rock. And I said to this man who was admiring me from the back, he was following me throughout the little boutique. I'm listening to the music, and I said to him, excuse me, but whose plaque is that on the wall? And he said, that's mine. Well, how would you come to own a gold record? I have a gold record. I did work with Kid Rock, blah, blah, blah. And he said, I know Shirley Hayden. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. You're the black, because he's black. His skin is dark. He has a very distinctive look. You'll never forget him. And I said, oh, my God, you're the Blackman. And we will be in the studio this evening working on some Shirley Hayden and Blackman music. He misses me.
I don't blame. I want to mention some of the tracks so viewers and listeners can check it out. I mean, some of the ones that I especially liked
on the Blackman Revue featuring Sheryl
and yours too. But Put the Money in My Pocket,
Ah,
Something Ain't Right.
yes. That one, Something Ain't Right, uh, received honorable mention. Now, I don't know how that happened, but it received honorable mention here at the Detroit Music Awards several years ago. We did that about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and people liked it. But we didn't continue that momentum, you know? We didn't continue the momentum, but that's one of my favorites. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then yours, Always on the One, and really impressed with Can You Feel Me? That's got a serious Funkadelic vibe.
You like that?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
It totally conjures the feel of classic era Funkadelic and Parlet to me.
Scott, I would like to go back in the studio and redo Can You Feel Me? Because it sounded to me like The Basement, you know.
Well, the recording quality I can't speak to, but the vibe and the song are cool.
Thank you. I wanted that song to disappear, you know. But
Why?
because I didn't like the way it was produced.
Hmm.
And I think I can still go in the studio and redo it. What do you think?
Why not?
Why not?
Huh.
Thank you. I will. But thank you for that.
I saw a clip too of you guys playing, I guess in 2014, and it was so cool. The recording's not good, but it was so cool to hear you guys doing Riding High, live.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We did some P-Funk music once in a while, but with the Blackman Revue featuring Shirley Hayden, we had a few musicians in the beginning, but in order to keep it going, you have to have real musicians, and you have to practice. And so that was a thing with learning the P-Funk music, performing the P-Funk music. You had to learn the music. And so musicians can be a little lazy sometimes in learning the music. So I had no desire to, if you don't know the song, you don't want to learn the song, let's not do it. Okay?
Got to do it right if you're going to do it.
If you're going to do it, it has to be done right. Yeah. So maybe now, maybe the time is now.
I saw you did that Sunra tribute also, which
Scott, you're warming my heart. I love doing Sunra. I didn't know that I could do Sunra. I had seen Sunra back in the early 80s when Marcus Belgrave took me to a concert. He knew Sunra. And at that time, the band consisted of all Detroit musicians. So I think that's the reason why we went. But it was so complex. I didn't understand it at that time. It was just a lot of noise, intergalactic, heebie-jeebie. What is what? I don't understand. I don't know. But a friend, Green, can't think of his first name. Yeah, a friend of mine introduced me to the project and told me that I could do Kenny Green. Kenny Green, what is the name of his organization? But Kenny Green told me that he came to one of the Blackman Revue featuring Shirley Hayden's gig and said that I would love for you to work with my group. And we're doing Sun Ra. So would you do me an honor and start listening to blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah? And I said, oh, okay, I'll start listening to Sun Ra. And that's what I did. And I fell in love with Sunbra. And Kenny invited me to, let's see, I did 2 shows. Yeah, I did 2 shows with Kenny doing Sunbra. And I think one was videotaped. So much fun. So much fun, but I was petrified. And because you've got to get it right. This is jazz. You got to get this Sunbra. Oh, this is a big feat.
Really cool to see a different side of you.
Yeah, I love jazz. I do reggae. I've been a part of several reggae groups. I do it all, Scott. I do it all. I'm multifaceted. I do plays. I have projects galore that are in the can, so to speak. One of them is Nina Simone. I'm looking forward to doing Nina Simone. I love her. But Sunra was a pleasure. That was a pleasure working with that band.
What does funk mean to you? One of the things that I just love so much about you is how you've kept in touch with it throughout your entire life so far. And it's, it's heartwarming and gratifying to see that you've embraced it throughout all these years. And so what does it mean to you, Shirley?
What does it mean? It means a way of life, my way of life. It means freedom of expression. It means to always give, to be free and giving of oneself, always being on the one, being true to oneself. And that's the funk. Always on the one, being true to oneself. Yeah. And that's what I've always been, true to myself.
What are you most proud of in your entire music career?
I'm proud of the work that I've done, all of it, because it's so much controversy surrounding Parliament, Funkadelic, all the groups that I've worked with. Just, I don't know if that's just a part of being a artist, recording, not just recording, but acting. I love the journey. I like where the music took me, and it still takes me. It's a challenge. It's always a challenge. I'm always up for a challenge. I guess it's just a part of it's my destiny to do the music. I'm on purpose. I'm very proud. I was, at one time in my life, I was embarrassed by the work that I had done with Parliament Funkadelic, because so many people here in the city, and Detroit is a big funk, this is Funk Nation here, and so critical of your counterparts, just so critical. So I never felt accepted. And when the organization folded, I was super embarrassed because I couldn't say technically what happened. And I didn't want to share what happened. I wouldn't with anyone. But I learned throughout the years to I thank God, number one, for grace, because I could not have done it without the grace of that which is, sustains us all. I'm very proud of the work, the body of work that I've done with Parliament Funkadelic. I'm very proud of the work. I'm proud of all of it. I've done so much as far as recording that I can't begin to talk about it all. But I know that I'm noted for the work that I did with Parliament Funkadelic and the work that I've done with Kid Rock. So those are huge accomplishments. But my biggest would be my daughter. Having my baby. I was I was a child bride. That's a story that I'm ready to tell now. I was married at 18 and widowed at 19. And my daughter was 6 months old. So she is my greatest accomplishment. I'm very proud of her. I'm very proud of our relationship because it hasn't been easy. It could not have been easy for her growing up because her mother is a vocalist, a vocalist. Your mother is a vocalist. What kind of job is that? So I would say that my biggest accomplishment would be my daughter. Secondly, on the journey would be the work that I've done with everybody. I'm just so grateful and honored that they chose me to be a part of their journey.
What's your all-time favorite P-Funk song?
My all-time, oh my God. Let's see. If I would start at the beginning, it would be America Eats Us Young. I played that album over and over again. Call My Baby Pussy.
You were into P-Funk before you got part of it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I knew that I was going to be a member of that group. I can't tell you how it happened, but I knew that I would be a member of Parliament Funkadelic because I was so entrenched in America Eats Us Young, Call My Baby Pussy. Once I start recording with them, it's several. Let's see. It's called Fun Will Take the Long Way Around.
Mm-hmm.
That was my mantra. Once I realized, okay, there's a lot of political bullshit going on.
I think that's on Trombepulation.
That's Trombepulation. Yes, I loved recording that album. I did. I loved. I came in on One Nation. That was hot. Knee Deep was hot. Yeah, it's several. The Electric Spanking of War Babies. Yes. I enjoyed recording that. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I could talk to you forever, as you've kind of gathered, but it's been so much fun talking to you. Thank you for spending the time. Thank you for all the great music, Shirley.
Thank you, Scott, for loving our music. And thank you for being so patient with me. I really appreciate the opportunity to do the interview. You have shown me how important it is. So I'm very grateful to you. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Truth in Rhythm. A big thank you goes out to our guest as well as to you, the viewer and listener. Also, much gratitude to Pleasure for supplying the show's funky opening and closing music. As a reminder, you can always access the complete list of linked shows by episode at funkandstuff.net. I urge you to support this program and receive the extra benefits along with that by subscribing to the Funk and Stuff channel on YouTube and sharing it with funk, R&B, and jazz lovers, joining Truth and Rhythm's membership program at Patreon, submitting a donation at funkandstuff.net, buying Everything is on the One, the First Guide to Funk book at Amazon, shopping at the Funky Things store for cool merchandise at funkandstuff.net, and linking through funkandstuff.net for all of your Amazon purchases. In addition, if you're an artist or anyone seeking proven, results-oriented professional marketing, PR, writing, or editing consultation or production, check out the media services section at funkandstuff.net. Also, I encourage you to drop me a line at scottg@funkandstuff.net. I love the feedback, suggestions, guest requests, appearance and sponsorship inquiries, and just talking about my favorite subject, groove-based music. For now, and as always, this is Scott Dr. GX Goldfine saying, keep on vibing to the rhythm of the one.